And welcome to the Talent Branch Show, the only weekly podcast dedicated to recruitment marketing and employer branding solutions for hospitals and health systems around the country. My name is Mike Ciavolino, and I'm joined each week by my co-host, Miss Donna Cardillo, RN, the Inspiration Nurse. How are you today, Donna?
I'm good, Mike. How are you and everyone out there? How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And I'm really excited about our show today. We have two very distinguished guests from Georgian University joining us. First, Dr. Joseph Marbach. He is the president of Georgian University. He's the 9th president and started on July 1st, 2015. He's charged with leading the strategic vision and growth of the university. He is the first male and the first lay president in Georgian Court's illustrious history. Dr. Marbach possesses a distinguished background in the academic arena as both an educator and a thought leader. Welcome, Dr. Marbach, to the Talent Branch Show.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Donna. I appreciate the invitation and look forward to a great conversation.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. And we are joined also by Dr. Teresa Wurmser, the Dean of the new Georgian University Hackensack Meridian Health School of Nursing. Dr. Wurmser is the inaugural dean of the university's nursing school, home to the fastest growing academic program at Georgian University. Dr. Wurmser also directs the Ann May Center for Nursing for the Hackensack Meridian Health Network, which he has done for more than 20 years. Dr. Wurmser, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome. So Dean Wurmser, you and I go way back. So nice to see you online today, and wonderful to have you both on the program. Now, Dean Wurmser, you were instrumental in launching back in 2008, the Georgian University nursing program, the first baccalaureate program for nursing in Ocean County. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
That is quite outstanding. And so what was the program like back then when you first started it, and where do you see it going in the future?
Well, having a 4-year BSN program in Monmouth and Ocean counties was actually the vision of the late Dr. Richard Hayter, who was, for me and for many of the nurses at Meridian Health at the time, a wonderful boss, a visionary leader, and a mentor. So Sister Rosemary Jeffries was president of Georgian Court at the time, and she and Rich conceived of this program as really an important part of the mission of the university, and as well as a pipeline for bachelor's prepared nurses for Meridian Health at the time. Dr. Hayter was a proponent for advancing the profession through education. All of our hospitals at the time were magnet designated, and one of the standards was to increase the number of baccalaureate prepared nurses. I actually worked with several doctorally prepared nurse scientists and educators to put the program together. We did it in less than a year, which included developing the curriculum, gaining New Jersey Board of Nursing approval, hiring faculty members, and recruiting our first class. It was quite an experience and a bit intimidating, but was also very, very satisfying to see it all come together. And we had 30 graduates from that first class of 2008.
That's wonderful. And of course, I knew Dr. Rich Hayter very well. Right. And he's another superstar, as are you in the nursing community in New Jersey and way beyond. So before we get more into the School of Nursing, Dr. Marbach, you've been president of Georgian University for 5 years. Can you tell us a little bit about what's transpired there in the last 5 years of your tenure and how you see the future of the university right now?
Sure, Donna. Well, we've had some significant developments. We continue to expand our academic programs. Just a couple of years ago, we launched our first doctoral program. We offer now a PhD in school counseling, and that's been a program that has had great demand, and we've filled our last 2 classes, so we're very excited that we're finally moved into that realm. And certainly we've seen a tremendous growth in the healthcare industry and behavioral health, so we're looking to continue to expand our offerings there. We've developed a master plan that really seeks to develop the facilities that will make this our ability to offer a state-of-the-art education in a state-of-the-art facility. And we've done that through, as I mentioned, a master plan that's guided by a strategic compass. And that compass emphasizes our academic excellence and the student experience. So they really do go hand in hand because, it's part of what students want. It's part of our mission, though, of forming persons who are going to have a real impact in the world.
Wonderful. All sounds very exciting. So Dean Wurmser, back to you. I'm very interested in hearing about the partnership between Georgian Court University and Hackensack Meridian Health. That's very intriguing to me. And what has that partnership meant to the School of Nursing, and how does it impact your graduates and the community as well?
Well, Hackensack Meridian Health Network has really supported this program from the inception. Hackensack University Health and Meridian Health merged a couple of years ago and is now one of the largest healthcare systems and healthcare employers in the state. It is an integrated network with not only hospitals, but also long-term care, subacute home care, primary care, and many other services. So we provide actually the continuum of services. Most of our hospitals are magnet designated, which means that they've achieved and maintained really high standards in nursing practice and provide the highest quality of healthcare. The network provides the right environment for our students to learn and grow with excellent role models in the nursing profession, which is so important. The network supports my position, the assistant dean's position, and one full-time faculty member. Most of our faculty are either educators or nurse leaders at Hackensack Meridian, and Dr. Christine Hayter and Dr. Chris Monia direct a state-of-the-art simulation center at Hope Tower at Jersey Shore. Our students, they're clinical instructors for us, and our students are able to use that facility. Most of our clinical experiences occur at Hackensack Meridian, and they hire many of our graduates. So during the height of the pandemic, I worked with Dr. Teresa Broderick, who's the network CNE, at her request to graduate our nurses early and to actualize the graduate nursing program, which placed graduate nurses in positions in their residency program prior to taking their licensing exam to really help ease the shortages. So we have a very, very close and very productive relationship.
That's wonderful to hear. And Dean Wurmser, I couldn't help thinking back to when I went to nursing school back in the day when most of us went to hospital-based nursing schools, and we always had that relationship, of course, with the schools and with a healthcare system, and it was an ideal partnership in so many ways. So I was actually very excited to hear about this partnership with Hackensack Meridian Health, and it reminds me in a lot of ways of all the benefits that we had in having that affiliation. It makes so much sense going forward because so many things have changed. Things are going to be changing going forward in more ways than we could have ever imagined. So really makes so much sense and very exciting. So thanks for explaining all of that. I'd love to also hear about the new home of the School of Nursing on the campus there. And I understand there's a significant amount of history behind the particular building that you'll be in.
Well, when we started the program in 2008, we were assigned to Hamilton Hall, which is not directly on the Georgian Court campus. It's behind Kingscote, where Dr. Marbach lives or resides. Hamilton Hall was part of the Gould estate, which the entire school is on the former Gould estate. I believe their children, actually, this was one of the homes of their children after they married. It's a lovely old structure with several fireplaces. At the beginning, when we first started, there was no elevator, and we're a 3-story building. When we moved in, Georgian Court built us a nursing lab that looked like the old-fashioned nursing wards that now I'm dating myself, right? Although it served its purpose, with new simulation and the new needs, there was some renovations done. We did put an elevator in, but we really have outgrown this space now. Technology simulation has become more important than ever. And so we're really in need of a new home. And Dr. Marbach is working tirelessly to make that happen for us.
Wonderful. So I've been on the campus a number of times over the years, and I believe that building is what we always refer to as the mansion. Is that correct?
Well, the mansion actually is part of our master plan, and we're looking to convert that into a new administrative building. So when we talk about the Nursing, Health, and Wellness Center, that's actually new construction that we're planning for campus. And it will be right in the heart of our Italian gardens. So
Beautiful.
if you've ever been on campus, yes, it's a historic campus. We have what was called the casino building, which was at one point an indoor polo ground that the Goulds had built. And we have the Apollo Fountain, which is a fabulous working fountain at the other end. And so the nursing facility will be smack dab in the middle of it. And we'll bring it back onto campus. As Teri points out, right now, Hamilton Hall is about half a block off of campus. And we really want to fully integrate our nursing students into the life of the campus. And they're taking their gen eds and their science classes in Jeffries Hall. So this will be a short walk for the students to go to those classes and then come back for nursing classes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it is a beautiful campus there. So very exciting. You have a brand new accelerated BSN program for nurses. And for our listeners who may not be familiar with an accelerated BSN program, if you could please explain what that is and who the program was designed for.
Well, we are really excited about this new program. We just received approval from the Board of Nursing in August, actually, to start the program in, we're hoping January of 2021. This is a program for students who have completed a bachelor's degree in another field. They'll be able to complete the program in a little over a year and sit for their boards and start practicing. Nursing offers so many opportunities, and I believe that there are many people who find themselves in careers that may not be fulfilling or do not have as many prospects for growth. So we received many applications from people with bachelor's degree who would normally have to go through our entire program. So as I said, we're very excited to begin this new endeavor.
That is very exciting to hear and very timely and relevant, since so many, again, you know, when Dean Wurmser, when you and I were in nursing programs, new nurses were a very homogenous group, but things have changed. We have so many people coming into nursing now as a second, third, and fourth career. And just as after 9/11, when many people were forced to step back and kind of look at where they were in life and where they wanted to go, I think a similar thing is happening right now with the pandemic. People are going to be saying, you know, maybe what I was doing didn't really have a lot of meaning to me. I'd really like to contribute in a bigger way. And I think we're going to continue to see a lot of people coming into programs. So this is absolutely ideal. And I love seeing people coming into nursing with degrees in other majors. They bring so much life and work experience, just adds so much texture and strength to the profession. So really exciting. So just tell me how the program came to fruition and what you hope to see during the first year.
Well, it's going to be very intense because everything is compressed into 1 year. I really believe that the students will find the learning environment to be really supportive of their needs. The faculty is all in on putting together this program. They're working on the individual courses right now. I believe it's going to be highly engaging, using a variety of active learning methods, including the flipped classroom, case studies, simulation, and group work, which I know will prepare them for intensive clinical experiences under master's prepared nurses who will help them to really become, experts in the field. We anticipate that students will be on campus as allowed, if we can, in the beginning of the year with the pandemic. We're hoping 2 days a week, and then the rest of the time in labs or clinical. So that's what our plan is right now.
Okay. And when the program was being formulated, did you bring anybody in to help work on that project, put it all together?
Yes, we did. We've been working with actually a retired dean. I don't know if you know her, Dr. Ann Tritek.
I know her name.
Yeah, she was a former dean, I think, at St. Peter's, and she continued to work at different nursing programs. But she's retired and she lives actually in Ocean County right now.
Mm,
Dr. Tricek has implemented ABSNs at other facilities. She
beautiful.
also an appraiser with CCNE, which is our accrediting body.
Mm,
So she is really aware of the regulatory and accreditation standards and an expert in curriculum development and evaluation. So I worked very closely with her and the faculty in developing this new program.
oh, excellent. Good to hear. So, of course, this, as you already mentioned, it's going to be an intensive program. So we know that the program will be, from your perspective, will be highly selective and rigorous. And can you tell us a little bit about the selection process and the criteria for individuals to come into this program?
So as you said, it's quite rigorous and challenging. Okay, so we're looking for students who are highly motivated. With a GPA, we're looking at 3.5, but we would consider, a lower GPA if people are really, as I said, very highly motivated from their previous baccalaureate program. And we want to hear that they're really able to devote themselves to their studies. It'll be a full-time program with students on campus and clinical for most of the week. There will be few breaks, and students will go through the summer. We plan 10-week sessions as opposed to our 15-week semesters that we have in our regular program. So the curriculum will be compressed to fit into shorter sessions. Our plan is to place students. What we're hoping to do is something unique. We're hoping to put them on a dedicated education unit at one of our hospitals or several of our hospitals where, they'll still have a full-time, an adjunct faculty member with them, clinical faculty, but they'll be working one-on-one with the nurses on the unit to really embed themselves and get used to being part of a patient care unit. So we're very excited about that. Yeah. And then, of course, provide them with experiences in the community and behavioral health is so important to their education. Yes. Population health, we want to make sure that we provide them, they need to understand the social determinants of health. We really want to focus on health, the health of our populations and not only on acute care. Yeah, so that's definitely our plan right now.
Excellent. So I just have one last question for you now, and then I'm going to turn it back to Mike. But I'd love to, Dean Wurmser, hear your thoughts on the employment rate and prospects for students graduating from this program.
Well, I'll tell you, the majority of our students have positions by the time they graduate. Okay, so they apply for positions. As you know, I never had to look for a position in nursing. There always seems to be opportunities in many different areas. There continues to be a great need for nurses across the state. Hackensack Meridian Health is fully supportive of the new accelerated BSN, and they continue to see a need for nurses to fill many positions. There are retirements in nursing right now. Our graduates have also been employed by many other healthcare systems in hospitals and in a variety of other roles in the community. So I think that there will always be a need for nurses going forward. So
that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably more so than ever going forward from here.
Yeah, I think also many of our nurses go on to get advanced degrees, and advanced practice nurses are in high demand. Hopefully we'll be developing that program in the future as well. Yeah. But as they leave and go on to advanced practice roles, again, we need to fill those bedside and community health positions. So there will be a need.
Yeah, and nurses are taking on so many additional roles in healthcare now too. It was, again, so many years ago, there, was pretty traditional. Nurses were primarily staffing hospitals, and there were some occasional other outside positions, but it's so much different. Not only are so many new roles being created for nurses, but nurses are doing so many additional things. And we've really been underutilized in the system for so long. And again, we're stepping back and reevaluating everything that we're doing in healthcare. And I think I know there's still so much more for us to do to continue to lead healthcare forward. So very, very exciting. Yeah. And more future opportunities. That's great. Thank
Come
you.
to entrepreneurs like you, right?
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's very true. There's so many nurses that are starting their own businesses. Some are, still have some traditional jobs, but are self-employed as well. And we're certainly going to see more of that going forward. Yeah. So I'd love to come out and speak to the students sometime about that.
I would love that. That would be
some
wonderful.
other things. So yeah, I'm a local girl too.
Mm.
So Mike, back to you now. I think I've done enough of the talking, and why don't you give your vocal cords some exercise?
Thanks, Donna. So Dr. Marbach, getting back to the campus as a whole, I have two questions for you. So, we understand there are a lot of modernization projects going on campus now, including the casino that you had referenced earlier. Wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit about that. And then we have listeners all over the country who may not be aware of Georgian Court University. So wondering if you could provide a snapshot of the history of the university and its footprint in the community.
Sure, Mike. So maybe I'll answer that second question first, just in terms of grounding where we've been to get a sense of where we're going. So, Georgian Court was founded in 1908 by the Sisters of Mercy. So there's an obvious connection to healthcare. We know about the Mercy health systems, and Mercies have been involved in education and serving the needs of underserved populations throughout their history. It's why Catherine Macaulay founded the order in the first place back in Dublin, Ireland. So Georgian Court has been located here on the Gould Estates that Teri referenced since 1924. And so actually we'll be celebrating 100 years here in Lakewood coming up in just a few short years. So originally the Gould Estate was 200 acres. After George Gould had built it and after he passed, he gave it to his children, and then they slowly sold off portions of it, but then eventually sold the bulk of the property to the Sisters of Mercy. And so that's where we've been. It's an historic location. As Donna pointed out, we have a historic mansion here on campus, and that's part of our redevelopment plans as well. But we also have the casino that you mentioned. And that's one of the things that we're looking at. How do we redesign the casino that was built for a late 19th, early 20th century needs and entertainment to something that's useful to the 21st century student? And as I mentioned, we are following a strategic compass, and it has two main points: academic excellence, and that's where Teri Wurmser comes in as the founding dean of our School of Nursing. And we really have found that to be one of our most challenging programs. It's our most popular program, and it has really helped raise our academic profile as an institution. And that's why we need to give it its home. And so that's why this new building for nursing, health, and wellness is at the heart of our master plan. But the other component is redeveloping the casino, which houses a swimming pool, a bowling alley, an indoor tennis court, into something that's much more functional for today's students. Many of Georgian Court students are commuters. They come from Ocean and Monmouth County, so we serve very much a primarily local student body. And oftentimes they don't spend a lot of time on campus because they don't have a place that's their own. And that's what we envision the casino to be redesigned as, a place where they can get a meal, have their student club meetings, go for other social events as the day warrants or the evening warrants, so that they get the real college experience that sometimes some commuter students don't get.
Right.
And actually, I am going to talk just a little bit more, Dean Wurmser.
Right.
I wanted to ask you about scholarships that are available for your students, what you have available, how students can find out about that, because that's a question I'm very frequently asked, or I hear a lot of people say, I can't afford to go back to school. I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. And, so that's an important question for our listeners.
So you know that nursing education is pretty expensive, between not only the tuition, but the fees that we have, or the uniforms, and the books are really expensive. So Georgian Court has a very generous scholarship program, and most of our students receive some support when they're admitted. Hackensack Meridian also provides our students with scholarships as well. In addition, there are many scholarships, both public and private, that students can apply for to supplement their financial aid packet. As we learn about opportunities, we send them out to all of our students, encourage them to apply. If they're working at Hackensack Meridian, we also have a very large scholarship program for our employees, so they're able to access those as well. And many of our students work, especially in our traditional program. I'm not sure about the ABSN, that might be a little bit difficult, but in our traditional program, they are employed at several of the hospital systems. So there is money available for nursing education.
I wrote an article that, feel free to use it as a reference too for those fill-in things, called Master the Scholarship Game, because when I went back to graduate school, particularly, I really did not have money to go back, but I was determined to find a way to do it. And I really, for the first time in my life, delved into the whole scholarship thing. And fortunately, the internet is a great help and support with that today, finding opportunities. So the article Master the Scholarship Game lists all types of scholarships, some that are nursing. And as you said, there are many other public and private sources available too. I even received some money from a women's leadership group, I believe in Monmouth County. And in fact, I think most of my scholarships were from non-nursing sources. So there definitely is money and support out there. I always tell students, lack of finances is never a reason not to go back to school, because there's definitely a way to figure that out, and more money available than many people realize. I myself have been involved in leadership roles in many organizations in New Jersey, including the National Association of Women Business Owners, and we offered scholarship money every year. And sometimes we had trouble even finding people to apply for it. Maybe they didn't know about it, or whatever the case was. So definitely lots of sources out there. So that's really good to hear. I'm really
I will definitely get your article. I will definitely share that. Thank you.
And I'm just really excited to hear about you've been doing great with the other program that you started in 2008 and this new program, and it'll be very interesting and exciting to watch it grow and continue to go forward. And timing couldn't be better, really, right now. And New Jersey nurses are the best anyway. What can I say?
Right. Representing New Jersey.
That's right. Mike, your wife is a nurse also.
Yes, she is an advanced practice nurse. So yeah, she is. My mother was a nurse. My sister's a nurse. So it's been in my family a long time.
So when are you going to nursing school? I know a good accelerated BSN program.
Right. We'll get you right in.
I'm going to apply as soon as we're done here.
Good.
Excellent. So over to you, Mike.
Well, thank you. So thank you so much, Dr. Marbach and Dr. Wurmser, for joining us today on the Talent Branch Show. We appreciate that. This is being streamed live on the Talent Branch Show Facebook page, and will also be released in a couple of days as an audio show. So we'll be sure to share that with you and all of our listeners. And we thank you so much again for joining us today.
Thank you. It was great. All the best.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Donna. It was a good pleasure.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.